Hi, first graders. Today we're going to start a brand new reading unit all about nonfiction. And today we'll talk about fiction versus nonfiction. We have already learned a lot this year about fiction and nonfiction. Do you remember the differences? Let's remind ourselves. Fiction is made up by the author. Fiction stories are not real. They come from the author's imagination. Remember when we learned all about Kevin Henkes and all the books that he writes? Those are examples of fiction books or fiction stories. Books like Chrysanthemum, Sheila Ray the Brave, and Owen. Kevin Henkes made up those characters and those stories from his imagination. They're all fiction. How can we know if a text is fiction? Well, fiction stories are made up. Fiction has story elements like characters, setting, a problem, and a solution. Fiction is also read to entertain or for fun. When you read something for entertainment, you read it just for fun and to have a good time. Fiction stories also usually have illustrations, which means they have a drawing instead of a real photograph. Nonfiction is different. Nonfiction is written with real facts. A nonfiction text is always true, and it teaches us something. Here are some good examples of nonfiction books. Nonfiction can be about science, it can be about your health, about a famous person, a place, animals, food, lots of things. But how do we know if a text is nonfiction? Well, nonfiction has true facts, always, always real. A fact can never be argued with. In nonfiction, you read to inform or to learn. So when you choose to read a nonfiction book, it means you want to learn something new. Nonfiction also has text features. We'll talk more about this on Wednesday, but if you remember, text features were things like photographs, captions, heading, table of contents, and things like that. Nonfiction books also almost always use photographs. Someone takes a picture of something with the camera, and it looks like a real picture, not a drawing or an illustration. There are so many types of nonfiction texts. Remember, a text is something that you read. Anything that you read is also called a text. There, of course, are nonfiction books. A book is a text that we read and use all the time. But there are also magazines, websites, and newspapers. There are many other examples of nonfiction texts, but these are some that you are probably familiar with and might even have in your own home. We have a lot of these texts in the classroom too. For today's assignment, you're going to complete the fiction and nonfiction sort on the slides. I'll show you how it works. Here's what your slide will look like. On one side is a star that says fiction, on another is a star that says nonfiction. And below are different circles with different elements of both. Your job is to drag each circle to the fiction side or the nonfiction side. For example, this circle says entertains. Which one do I read to be entertained or for fun? Is it fiction or is it nonfiction? Oh, well, I remember that when I read a fiction story, I'm usually reading it for fun or to be entertained. So I'll drag the entertain circle to the fiction star. What about true facts? Well, true facts means it's real. And I know anything that is real and always true is nonfiction. So I'll drag this over to the nonfiction star. You can sort the rest of the circles into the fiction or nonfiction side. Have fun, first grade. See you next time.